Hello, everybody. Thanks for taking the time to listen to the latest and greatest episode. I don't know about the latest and greatest episode, but welcome to episode 157 of the Leon LeGray podcast. Your host, as always, Leon LeGray, here, or short known as just Leon. But however, so today I'm going to be talking about Instacart. And supposedly I was supposed to work on episode 157 Friday, have it published, but due to Instacart, that got me busy and I haven't had time to post episodes in a more frequent fashion. And so then, yet again, I just been delayed and I got tired after doing several Instacarts last week. And so today, I'm going to give you full-on details on audio, what it is like working with Instacart. So before we begin into discussing on Instacart, I want to go ahead and give you a shout out to the partners I am sponsored with. And so today, I am wanting to give a huge shout out to Zenny and Scoochcase. So let me go into detail about Zennies. And those that don't know what Zennies is right now, Zenny is a anti-blue light protective glasses that protect your eyes from whenever you're working on the computer for long periods of time or whatever it may be you're doing, gaming or doing whatever it is, or even music productions. That right there, if you are working on the computer for about, let's say about 2 to 3 hours minimum, you'll start to feel the effects of your eyes. And with me working on the computer for a long time, I could feel it. Anyone can't feel it at all if you're in front of the computer screen for long periods of time. This is good. I love it, and I recommend it. Go for Zennies, what you're waiting for, and I'm sure that you or your significant one will love it as well. Next and foremost, it is Scoochcase. Scoochcase. If you've not heard of Scoochcase, this will be a good time to get into Scoochcase because Scooch is an awesome little kickstand cover case phone. I love it. They have tons of skins that you can choose for your Scoochcase. Not just skins, but they have it on many colors. And the best part about Scooch is that it's not just a protective case. It also comes with a kickstand, and so it lets you stand your phone anywhere, so you don't have to leave it flat on the table or flat anywhere else. And so the kickstand is amazing. It's not just a stand as well, but if you are traveling like I am, you can go ahead and use the stand to put it into your dashboard. And if you don't like the option into, let's just say, mounting your car right in front of your dashboard and not having to deal with the adhesive glue that comes with those GPS mountings, not to worry. You do not have to ruin your dashboard for that. You could just stick the kickstand right in front of the ventilators of the car, and that's it. It makes it super simple. You'll fall in love with Scooch. With that said, go ahead and pick yourself a Scooch case right away. What you're waiting for, Scooch is awesome, and you will love it. Now going through today's sponsors, let's get right into what is Instacart. And Instacart, it's just been growing with popularity for some time now. And for those that don't know what it is about, now here in the States, Instacart, it is a grocery delivery application, which I like the concept a lot. Which, however, this right here is, I didn't actually embrace that at first until later on, but the idea is actually really simple, really fascinating. Which, if you are someone that's looking for instant gratification and having your deliveries right through your door or pick them up yourself, Instacart is. I'm going to get into today's show and step by step what my experience about Instacart has been like so far. And so I've done right now, as of now, I've done about over 45 um, Instacarts, and they've been pretty good experience actually. In this case, I think Instacart as something I've enjoyed using a lot. I think the application is really really convenient, and in fact, if you're someone that is trying to make a go through a side gig, this app does a really good job. In fact, I think, my opinion, though, I think a lot of people will kind of think this a little bit differently. And to me, the base pay for Instacart, it is much higher. So actually, the pay differentiates differently on depends on where how you see it, right, for sure too, and also where you make your money depends on your area. So you have to give it pretty much give that into perspective, is that not all pays are the same. And also the weekends, I think one of the best things about Instacart is the weekend pays are much higher compared to the weekdays, and something that you will notice on the base pay on Instacart. Now, in fact, one of the things I've actually enjoyed about Instacart, for one, I can make makes income on the side and work on something I can truly love and get back to what I'm trying to do, especially with podcasting. Which that's one of the things I like about it. So I can have extra money on the side, make a little bit extra income, and I think that is one thing that's great. Now, in comparison to with let's say Uber Eats, I liked the concept with Uber Eats. Now, however, I don't think Uber Eats is perfect, and there are some there are some benefits to it with Uber Eats. I think one of the things with Uber, and that for me, what stops which stops me from liking them. For me, one of the things I would say is that if you are in the urban areas, I think it's much more beneficial. If you're in the urban areas, Uber Eats is for you because you have so much going on. And for me, I will go ahead and put, let's just say, if you or someone in San Francisco or anyone in the big cities, you can do your deliveries about 5 miles around your area. I think that's I would say your that's pretty much a good mileage that you can start out with, which I think it's good. I think if you are starting out something simple with Uber Eats, that's the way to go. But however, if you're going over 5 miles, let's say a 10-mile run, now you have to consider one thing with Uber Eats is that you're going to be making your deliveries far away, and not all your deliveries are going to be close, right? So that's one of the things that that makes it unprofitable with Uber and Uber Eats combined, right? And I'm sure there's going to be people disagreeing with me on this too, but I've noticed one thing is that you'll notice that you're going to end up paying for more gas, having to do all these runarounds with Uber Eats. And what I liked about Instacart particularly with this gig right here is it's so close to each other. Now it is definitely growing in popularity. For one, groceries are very. I mean, for me, everybody does grocery shopping anyway. So this is an idea that is simply genius. So you know that what you're gonna be expecting out of this, you're going to see a lot of people doing grocery shopping, which approximately around under 5 miles away from you too. But sometimes if you're doing group orders, it will be with group orders. Not all of them are going to be 5 miles or under. So you have to understand as well, though. Now you will have to go through one trip to the next, if you're doing group orders like a group of 3. As you mean, the maximum is probably like a group of 3. But I like it right there because you do get paid much higher if you're doing group deliveries, which I think it is absolutely awesome. If you are looking to get paid a little bit higher, group deliveries is perfect. Now, let me get right on to where Instacart is available. So, if you're looking to do Instacart, the availability with Instacart is pretty much of all major cities in the United States. Atlanta, where I am, Austin, Boston, uh, Chicago, Denver, Houston, Miami, Los Angeles, New York City, Philadelphia, San Francisco, Seattle, Toronto, Washington, D.C. Were all the major areas too. Now, however, with the growth of Instacart, I mean, Instacart has been around since 2012. So right now, as at the moment, this Instacart is currently a private company. And what I've understood with Instacart, they're looking to become very public within later this year, which hopefully they're going to be. It's going to be a brand new IPO some point later on too. But I will have to check on to the news on how the IPO news is going to be. So what that does mean is that you can actually trade stocks going with Instacart, which is actually pretty cool. Now, to me, am I looking, if it does open up, will I buy it? I would say probably so. I would love to buy stocks off of Instacart, which would be really amazing for me to do that. So that's something that is pretty interesting. Now, to get right down onto it as well. So let's get right on to Instacart. So beyond what I've said about Instacart's availability, so it's going to be available in most major cities, of course. So it is available in those 2 countries alone, United States and Canada as of right now. But later on, what I understood is that once they become a public company, they are going to end up looking into expanding, what I've understood at that point as well. So that is still amazing. So we are going to see some more expansions later at some point. So that'd be super. Then from what I've understood, or from when I traveled, one of the things I've noticed here in the United States, there's a supermarket called Aldi's. I've been seeing that here in my home state right now, Georgia. And of course, there's Aldi's almost everywhere you see in the United States. But however, I know Aldi's started in Germany, and I know there's a grocery store branch which I think that will work out perfectly. And I think in parts of, and not just part in Germany, and I'm sure that in parts of Europe, that I think Instacart will work out. For an example, and I can see the huge use case of Instacart going out internationally, stuff like UK, Ireland, what else, like Germany, France, Luxembourg, you name it. So I mean, this is gonna happen all over the place too, and I do see that popularity gonna go outside the borders, outside of North America in general. So that's, to me, that's going to be a big deal too. I mean, by the time that goes out, I mean, a lot of people are going to sign up for it, and people will love to see that convenience to it as well too. And I think that's where I think a lot of people are going to say, hey, I want to use Instacart so I don't have to go out and get out of my way to do all the shopping, because it's going to be a headache, and you have to wait in line whatever time it may be, probably like 4 in the afternoon or whatever that comes down to it too. And then to add right there on the conversation, that's why I think the Instacart what do you call it, it's gonna Instacart app, and a lot of people, by the time it goes across borders, it's gonna be very very convenient. I mean, right now, what I've noticed with if Instacart, which the use case with it. In fact, I had a conversation with a friend of mine a couple days ago that said that he was delivering alcohol. In fact, you can actually deliver pharmaceutical medicines and bottles of wine to customers. And in fact, there was one customer that made a purchase through in a local supermarket, right? It was a local a grocery chain called Kroger's, right? And he went and over to that supermarket and he purchased alcohol from there. So that was one thing. One of the things I've I that he I what he still was telling me the story, and he went over to this man's place, and one of the things he said to me about this older man that he sent it to. In fact, he went outside, and he went outside. In fact, the person that he was waiting right in his garage, he could not walk, so he was using like like a wheelchair, right? Or yeah, or a wheelie, and because one of his legs got I think it was cut off, and the one leg was still functioning, and that was pretty sad. But that's what I think. Instacart can have such good use cases for not just the elderly, but people that are disabled, which is really good because a lot of these people have a very very hard time trying to go shopping. Anyways, having to beat the 3 o'clock traffic jam here in the States, where people normally get off of work between 3 to 4 p.m. and East Coast time, and that's really difficult. And then they have to fight off the traffic with all the working class people as well. So to me, that really is good for those people that really need to use Instacart too. Oh, and then also families as well. Families, especially young families that has like 2 or 3 children at the most, anyways, nowadays. So that works out for young families, older families, you name it. And I think right now, what I've seen with the trend, and from my personal experience using Instacart, just a lot of people are just having a hard time trying to get out and fight off the lines in the grocery stores, put all the groceries right into their the back of the trunk or whatever, right? And then they have to go home and fight the traffic just to put all the food away, right? And that's a big task right there too. In fact, the other day I did a shop only order, and that shop only order was I would say about 72 items, and the good thing about shop only orders is that that particular shop only order was that I didn't have to go out anywhere, and so that was good right there too. And that was something I liked about that. So that way you don't have to go into someone's home, which is really nice. But let me go ahead and expand a little bit more on shop only orders. And with shop only orders, and for me, the shop only orders, I think one of the benefits with shop only orders, for example, let's just say that let's say if that person is out somewhere and you don't want your groceries to be left right in the front door. So that's one of the things I think not many grocery stores offer shop only orders or short, as I call it, SOO orders. Not all grocery stores, of course. Last I checked, I know the grocery chain Kroger's doesn't have that. In the other grocery chain, what is it? Oh, Aldi's. Aldi's doesn't even offer SOO. So those two, I don't even remember. Those two offer a shop only orders. Only the grocery chain based in Florida, Publix, that's the one that I know that offers SOO orders, and that's one of the most convenient ways to do it. So let's say if you're not at home, and if you're able to pick up like groceries, right? If you're able to do that, right, instead of having your groceries sit outside or have food left outside, whatever, right? Like if you, let's say if you ordered ice cream, but you don't want that ice cream to melt right outside your front porch, right? Or porch pirates comes and pick it up and steals it off, right? So that's one thing I'd say about SOO orders are very beneficial, and that's one thing I'd say about that too. If you're able to go and drive to a grocery store and pick it up instead, you're better off doing that too. And that's one of the things I would say in about SOO orders is that SOO orders, shop only orders, are not available everywhere. Only Publix. That's the only grocery chain that I know that offers it, and that's it really. And by the way, just to give you a footnote, right there, like I mentioned, Aldi's and Kroger's does not offer it, and I do hope later on that more people are using Instacart. I really hope that it attracts more grocery chains to say, hey, this is really awesome. This is very, very convenient. I love to get down into using this, right? In fact, I'm sure that it's not just, like I said, families, disabled persons, or senior citizens, right? I'm sure that it'll expand more upon young adults as well too, and just because that they themselves don't have time yet, and with this pandemic, right, as of right now, looking at it, in fact, I'm sure that a lot of younger people are doing it because they work at homes as well, and by the time they are done, they are tired, they don't want to get out. That's one thing I would say that's pretty beneficial of using Instacart, is that they just don't want to get out and fight the traffic after they're done. And so there are good elements to Instacart. I think it is very, very nice about it too. And again, and that's one of the things I'd say with Instacart that is good. Now, the other hand, right there too. Let's just say that if you are shopping through Instacart, that if you're looking to using Instacart, you can still rate your shopper and see how they done. If they done great, you can give them 5 stars. If they haven't, you can give them a 2 or 1 star. So there's a rating based system on Instacart. Is pretty much you could just let them know that how they perform, if they got the right items, if the quality of food was selectively picked out well. Like for instance, like produce, people are very, very picky, and a lot of times you definitely have to have a good eye and make sure that there's no what you call the apples or the bananas aren't even smashed or bruised. So you gotta really know what you're picking, because right there, when it comes to Instacart, you gotta know what you're picking, because otherwise they're going to be left unsatisfied, and they're not going to like that at all one bit. And that's one thing you have to be careful because you've got to be sure what you're picking out is pleasing, and the bananas doesn't look bad, or the avocados aren't so ripe. So those examples right there, you want to be sure that you're picking up the great right items right there too. So in other words, to put it plain simple, it all reflects up on you as a shopper. So it does affect you either way. So however, I've had plenty of 5 stars and 4 stars already, and 1-2 stars too. So that's one thing you've got to be very, very careful when you're doing it. So at the end of the day, you are the shopper. It all reflects on you. So there we go. I went ahead and talked on the rating system and the availability of Instacart. Now for earnings, I haven't talked much on earnings, so I want to get into it right away before I put the episode on a close. So earnings are based on how much it comes up differently on each batch. So each batch that you make right there. So for instance, like no the normally the base pay for Instacart is normally like $7. Over on weekends, it's higher depending. So how you do it on how where you deliver the items. And I know that full service deliveries are pretty much paid much higher than shop only orders too. So that's what I've known from my experience. And again, it is something that it's the pay base is very different. And my recommendation is if you go with Instacart, make sure that you pick out the promotional offers that they offer it. Now they give you those promotional offers within a day in advance to take it or not. So for me, however, if it was me, I would take it as soon as possible because you might want to do it because also that you get paid a lot higher, which is very nice for as a shopper yourself. Well, whenever you're doing any shopping for customers out there as well. So make sure you pick it out as soon as you get it. So in conclusion, I will say to anyone that is looking to go with Instacart, I say I highly, highly recommend Instacart for anybody right there too. I highly recommend it. In fact, I recommend it over Uber Eats because with Uber Eats right here, it's pretty much you're just serving people that are using it for fast food intake, right? While in the other hand, groceries deliveries are more of a demand. A lot of people prefer to that they can pick up their groceries, have their groceries picked up or deliver at home, which is very nice options right there. And and with Uber Eats, I think that one of the things with Uber Eats that they do promotionals. Um, Now, however, it does just depends on certain areas, and I like Instacart because they give you promotional promotions based on your performance and how you do it. And I think it's great that you can still use Instacart and still get paid really really well on what you do too. And my biggest thing with Uber Eats, why I don't have it as my top recommendation, is that you pick up the orders, and a lot of the orders that a lot of people are picking this up are pretty much homes further away out of the boonies. And what's one of the things I kind of quite dislike about it too, and for me, Uber Eats is very much very well if you're, let's say, in the urban areas and don't want to go out anywhere else. And that's, I think, what's one of the biggest advantages up on Uber Eats, which to me, I don't mind about Uber Eats because I actually used it one time. I think it's decent. And however, I don't necessarily purchase fast food all the time. And to me, having fast food is not always the most healthiest thing to, unless if you are going to go with, I don't know, like probably restaurant food like Chili's, which I think Chili's is still decent. But again, you are spending a lot higher, of course. To me, I think with groceries items, like using Instacart, you have food packaged up for you, and the shopper leaves the food right up on the front door. And the other option is handed to them in person, which is another popular option as well. So that way you can have their groceries set onto the customer's table if they allow you to or whatever, right? And it is a really good option as well too. So you can just so pretty much the person using the app can just go ahead and put that option right there if they want to. So that's another neat thing about Instacart, which is very nice because it's very much grocery based. Or I know not all of them are grocery based because I know Instacart is expanding to other retails as well. So if you don't if you don't want to purchase online, let's say through Amazon, you could just let's say for instance, I actually have never used a bed. What was it? Bath bed Bed Bath and Beyond, which that's a store I don't ever go to, but that's another option right there if you're looking to buy household appliances. And let's say Big Lots, it's another chain right there here in the US. So you can go ahead and purchase your stuff right through Big Lots or whatever, right? I think there are good options right there too. So it is really nice to have these options for you as the shopper. Yeah, as the buyer right there too. So you can just do that, which is great too. And I like that they're going to be expanding outside of the grocery chains right there. So, anyways, that is it for the podcast. Guys, if you like what you've heard, let me know down in the YouTube comments down below what do you think, or the iTunes review. What do you think about this episode of 157? I'd like to hear your thoughts and opinions. Normally, I don't ever talk about application reviews, and this was one that was really fun to talk about, and I've enjoyed having to talk about and share my story on the Instacart, and I think it is really fun. And guys, if you are interested in joining in Instacart yourself and want to try it out, I'll leave down the referral link down below if you are interested, if you want to try it out too. So that said right here, thanks for so much for taking a listen to episode 157. And if you have any other questions, do let me know on the email that I'll be posting down in the show notes below, or leave your comments down below up on the YouTube comments or on Odyssey, which I'll be posting all my videos through Odyssey from here on out from here as well too. So I'll have a good video site like Odyssey and the evil, which is YouTube by Google. So that being said, thanks so much for taking a listen. I hope you have a great rest of the day. Bye for now.